replacement. So we need to have, at least some on hand that if it's, not able to be fixed, that we can turn one over in the next day, all programmed for that user, so.
Any questions?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. You mentioned in the previous slide that there's 128 desktops.
Yeah.
There aren't printers attached to every one of those, right?
Oh, no,
There's
no.
there's
No, no,
situations
no,
where you have
no.
shared
Oh,
printers.
definitely,
And
yeah.
situations where there's a group in an office.
I've been here 7 years, and originally all our, well, with the exception of probably 3, where they were all attached. We've moved very with focused purpose in moving away from that. We do have some very old printers that refuse to die that are still attached. They're all network printers.
We can get a printer inventory as well. We've also moved towards the multifunction copy machines and the ability to print to those. So it's probably very few that have their own in their own office. But we can get that list.
I can assure you that the old printers and the new computers don't work. They're not compatible.
No.
No matter what Gene does.
There's an example right here.
Scott?
The last question I have is related to backup storage, recovery. So can you just quickly again go over that, and I assume some of the hardware? Are you using a hardware solution, or are you going to use a remote off-location solution?
Currently, we're backing up data.
I know how you're doing it now, and it scares the heck out of me. I'd like to know the investment you're going to make.
We
What's
can
the
go back to
solution?
this.
What are we doing?
Just go to the backup recovery and we'll go back.
And currently, we back up all our servers, data part, and probably about 65% of our more critical, or they're all critical actually. But,
Right.
daily backups and rotate our. But we're looking at a strategy, more of an enterprise-wide strategy, where we can do block level, if you're familiar with block level backups, where we can do back up the whole image, at a time, and do different block backups, and do them. We're exploring the possibility of doing it remotely, perhaps with police and fire, and they can do their backups, and we can store encrypted version of their system, of their data here, and theirs there. So.
And we looked at outside services instead?
We are exploring different options, and in the cloud type storage. So we haven't narrowed down what exactly is going to work for us, but we know we need to do something. And
What's in your capital budget for it right now?
25,000.
And that doesn't include the potential out using a
It wouldn't
cloud type-
include the monthly maintenance, but it would include the initial. So.
To me, that seems like a priority that we should probably nail down here in the next week or two. What you guys, look at that option, and at least present to the board, because to me, that's probably your biggest concern I have for the whole IT is right there. And I don't know why that's just not a number one priority. We should be looking at every option, because now, I don't know, Bob, you're in the industry, I'm not. It seems like there's so many least costly solutions out there than buying hardware.
Well, none of them are least costly, I can tell you that.
Okay.
Not for the kind of data volumes, not so much the 70 gigabits, but and not so much Munis, because Munis is already in there, there's going to be some additions, but the document management system is going to have a significant impact. We talked about a system called Datto, which involves a server on site that does image backups. In other words, it does a complete picture of every drive as it goes, 15-minute cycles, and then it ships that data, consolidates it. It's like, those that might be familiar with systems that do these incremental backups, and then they consolidate them annually into a day backup, and then the day goes to a week. And those are shipped off-site, and you pay for the storage off-site by the number of typically gigabits that you're
Right.
storing. So that's an approach. Gene seems to be more of an advocate of, okay, we have a police station that's 24/7. We have a high-speed fiber network. We can make use of this by applying and having the data in 2 locations all the time. Therefore, from a disaster recovery point of view, the town hall burns down, God forbid, and the data is at the police station. And it's a little unlikely the police station will burn down, there's someone there all the time, but it could happen, and their data would be encrypted and stored here. Now, that needs further study. I think that the decisions that will drive what's being, what's planned will be related to how we end up moving forward with these 2 proposals.
Okay, so you're saying the
we
document management
have-
plays a big role in the decision. So if we decide against going with document management
We have
this
less data to back up. We've been, from a company point of view, we've been putting a lot of people on what we call managed service with a data, or it used to be called a BDR before that. There's a lot of companies that do these kinds of things. And the beauty of the data is that if a server goes down, it can, because it stores these images, and it's running basically Microsoft's backup server software with a bunch of other applications on it, it can emulate the down server. And within a couple of hours, it can be brought up as the failed server. So that has some advantages when you can't afford to be down for more than a few hours. If you can afford to be down for a day, it kind of changes the picture. If you can be afford down for a week, it changes the picture even more.
I understand.
So more work has to be done in this area. Clearly, Gene has
Yeah.
put a lot of thought into it.
So then we need to have 2 proposals then. One, if we do go forward with the document management, and one if we don't.
No, I think we need it.
No, I
either way.
think we have to have a long-range plan for, the
I
way,
understand.
when you say go through with it, I think the issue with the board, as I read it, is not so much not doing it, it's the timing of when to do it. I mean, I think, and I feel the same way, by the way, is taking on both of these major tasks simultaneously is not a good idea.
Doesn't sound.
But that doesn't mean that if we're going to invest in backup, that we shouldn't think about where we're going to be 2 years, 3 years out,
Yep.
and put in place
Yep.
the system that's going to handle both from downstream. So, I think there's a fair amount of work left to do, but I think what Gene and Elizabeth has put forward tonight provides at least a better picture of what we have, which helps us make better decisions.
Yeah. You did a nice job. Thank you.
So just to back up briefly.
I think Mr. O'Leary has a question.
Okay. Just I didn't want to skip over, so you guys can see a snapshot of all the annual maintenance that we currently pay and the systems that we pay for them. I know it's kind of small and hard to see, but so we pay $1,000 a year for fixed asset software maintenance. There could be a point that this could go away and be integrated into Munis. Lawrence Braverman and Associates is our old financial management system, and we are required to have 7 years of to go back 7 years. So this fee that we pay is just the ability to actually view the data that's there. So this will go away at the end of FY16. As I mentioned before, those will go away once Munis is fully implemented for real estate, personal property, water. Munis, we currently pay $43,000 a year. This isn't just, it's lumped together, but it's there's software, there's also OSDBA, which offers other support.
It's the support they have for the operating system and the database administration. Critical, actually, for the applications.
And then the GUI.
Oh, yeah, and then there's a license, part of that's included a license for the client interface, it sits on each.
So there is a possibility that might be reduced or go away when we go with dashboard, because what Jean was talking about is the client based Munis, and we're hoping to go with the dashboard base. So the town email, you can see that it's minimal, that will go away, but it's minor in the grand scheme of things. Every year annually we have to pay for our website, our domain, to have the name. Also for our website we have to pay $4,700 a year. DLT Solutions, that is AutoCAD assurance, so that is for mapping and
A town engineer and when we had GIS, they both used it. It's engineering.
antivirus software, that is for town hall, that's for police and for fire also, that's the combined total. And Sonic Wall, the phone system, now we're talking about additional modules and what they would cost. So Munis, the additional maintenance and support, the document management, which is general code, annual maintenance and support, and the server certificate for the Exchange server, which is to get the email on the Exchange server. It is more than what we currently pay, but we are not in compliance. We don't have email retention, so I think in the long run we would benefit from paying for that, or so we've talked about the Exchange server a lot, and we've talked about the benefits of it. This is just a recap, and it breaks down what the total cost will be to us, but again, I said that those funds are available in combined articles, so.
Oh, I just want to mention a little about unified messaging that would provide us the functionality to have our voicemail sent to our email as a WAV file, so that you can check your voicemail right in your email. So that would provide us that option.
There's the one thing that we didn't capture, because we didn't have the information, was any maintenance, software maintenance, the police, is in the police budget and in the fire budget. We ought to get that.
Sure, I do have that information. I just didn't want to overwhelm that.
Too late.
But I can get a breakdown of that, so.
Question?
Just in relation to the proposal, the small portion of the proposal as far as the 5-year replacement of the $35,000, and I heard an offhand comment from Jean that really we need to catch up a little bit more quickly because it has been deferred for a significant amount of time and years here. I'd like to see us make that investment. If it's an additional $25,000, $30,000 to get us up to snuff and have something in reserve in case something breaks down, it's an investment that needs to be made now, I think,
Yeah.
You have some things machines that are 2003, 2004. It's kind of crazy. So whatever that number is, I think that's what we need to hear. While a 5-year plan is $35,000 a year, the initial investment that we need to make now has been deferred, so we need to know what that number is, and if it's $60,000, it's $60,000. If it's 70, it's 70. But let us know what we truly need to
Bring us up to date.
Bring us up to speed so that the 5-year plan will work. Otherwise, we're continually trying to play catch up, and if we're going to embrace the program, let's do it. That's my feeling. I don't know about the rest of the members of the board.
Hardware and software is cheap, labor is
Right.
expensive, and when we have people that can't get their work done,
Right.
it's,
So,
that's
to me,
money
it's-
lost.
Right. I will now, if there's no more questions on IT and all of our hopeful initiatives, I'll pass it back over to Greg.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
To both of you.
Thank you.
I want to take the opportunity to ask Chief Murphy and Lieutenant Romeo to